Okay, let's go through this. We're just going to review Chapter 3. There may be one or two problems that we skip through here because some of them are repeats, but we'll try to hit most of them. All right. So here's the first thing. We got to remember what these words mean: alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, or consecutive interior. All right. So let's take a look at the angles that they give you. Again, sorry, I know this is a little bit small, but it's good enough to get the idea what's going on. So there's angle 5, and there's angle 13 right here. I'm just going to put arcs around those, and you just have to see what types of angles they are. Now remember, look, angle 5 is part of this group of 4 up here, isn't it? Angle 13 is part of this group of 4. Look where 5 is. It's on the top right hand. 13 is in the same spot, isn't it? It's in the top right hand. So if they're in the same spot, what do we call them? Well, we call them corresponding angles. Okay, I'll just shorthand it. Okay, these would be corresponding. 5 and 13 would be corresponding. All right? Now, they don't ask this, but what would 5 and 10 be? This one right here and this one right here. They're alternate interior. What would this one, which is 9, what would 5 and 9 be? Consecutive interior. Very good. Okay, consecutive interior angles. And then I think there was one more, which is 9 and 16, so we'll save it for that. So look at number 2. 9 and 16. So 9 is up here, and 16 is way down here. Okay, do you see those? So what's the relationship between them? They're alternate exterior. Because look, here's the 2 lines, here's the transversal. Okay, this is the line that cuts those 2 lines, the transversal. 9 is on one side of the transversal, 16 is on the other side. This is exterior, this is exterior. They're alternate exterior angles. So I'll just shorthand it. Alternate, oops, almost wrote interior. Let's go like this. Exterior angles. Okay? That's all you had to do is just tell which one they were. Now, number 3, we're going to say something about them. Now, all I did right here was just name the angles. But I want to do more than just name the angles. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that. I want to do more than just name the angles. I want to work with them, and I want to see a relationship between them. There's only a relationship between these angles if you have parallel lines. So look at number 3. It says, given that line A and B are parallel to each other. Well, here's line A and B. So these 2 lines right here are parallel to each other. Everybody see that? And I got transversals, and you should know some things about some angles if you have parallel lines and transversals. It says angle 6 and angle 10. It says angle 6 is 89 degrees. We want to find what angle 10 is. Well, first of all, let's mark angle 6 and angle 10. Well, this is angle 6 right here, and this is angle 10 right here. Look what I have. I got 2 parallel lines this time cut by a transversal. We already gave the name for these. We said they're consecutive interior angles. What do we know about consecutive interior angles, though, when you have parallel lines? Good. They add up to 180. All right. So they add up to 180. So angle 6 and angle 10 add up to be 180. Well, I know what angle 6 is. I know it's 89 degrees. So that angle right there, sorry it's a little small, but that's 89 degrees. What's the math that I do to solve for, right, just subtract it from what? 180. 180. So it's just 180 minus 89, and that's what? 91?
Yes.
Okay, so 91 degrees. So that's what angle 10 is. So angle 10 equals 91 degrees. Again, you have to understand that consecutive interior angles are supplementary. What if they were alternate interior angles? What would they be? What's the relationship between them? Sorry to wake you up, but
It's not
complementary? They're equal to each other. That's right. Okay, alternate interior angles are equal to each other. What about alternate exterior angles if you have parallel lines? What are they? They're equal to each other. Okay. What about corresponding angles if you have parallel lines? What are they? They're equal to each other. Okay. What's the one thing that's different than the equal? If they're consecutive interior. And consecutive interior means they're supplementary. Okay. There is no complementary when you come to this kind of stuff. Okay. They're only complementary if you have 2 angles that add up to 90 degrees. And we don't necessarily have 90-degree angles in there. Okay. All right, let's do number 4. Number 4 is kind of the same idea. Let's just get rid of some of this mess in here. Let's get rid of that. Because I'm going to mark some other stuff up here. All right, let's see what we've got. It says, find the values of x and y given that a and b are parallel. So again, these 2 lines are given parallel to each other. And we are given 8 angle 12, and angle 11. But look at angle 8 and angle 12. Angle 8 is 4x plus 10. Angle 12 is 7x minus 7. Angle 11 is 3y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with the two that are x's. All right? Let's find the relationship between angle 8 and angle 12. So where's angle 12? Right here. Where's angle 8? Right here. Now look, these two are parallel lines. We've already talked about this before with what? With 6 and 10, right? What are these? Consecutive interior angles. So what's true about them? They're supplementary. They add up to 180. Exactly right. Okay, so take a look at this. This is angle 8 right here. This is angle 12 right there. What's true about those two? They're supplementary, which means what do we do to them? What math do we do? Now that looks like a minus 10, doesn't it? This is where I got into trouble before. That's actually, if I blow that up, watch, I'll just show you. Where am I? See, it's actually a plus 10. Do you see that? Okay. So, I just showed, now it's a plus 10. It's, I don't know, for some reason, like if you click on it or something like that, it just doesn't show all the stuff. I don't know why it does that, but it got me in trouble last time because I got the wrong answer, and I was like, what did I do wrong? And it's because I put a minus instead of a plus. I didn't read it, and that's why I have the test in front of me, even though I didn't use it. Anyway, what was it? 4x plus 10, and then this is 7x minus 7, so you add that, and you set it equal to 180. Let's do the math real quick. 4x, 7x, 11x. Positive 10, negative 7, plus 3 equals 180. Okay, watch. 11x equals, subtract a 3, 177. All right, divide by 11. You could keep it 177 over 11 if you wanted to. Okay, or you could make it a decimal if you wanted to and make it 16.1. You all right with that? In the honors class, we had the same exact problem. I kept it a fraction, and I worked with it as a fraction, but it might be easier for you guys to put it as a decimal. Just work with it as a decimal. You'll need a calculator, but that's okay. All right, so now we know what x is. What do we do with y? Y is angle 11, so look at angle 11. Angle 11 and angle 8 are what to each other? They're alternate interior, which means they are equal to each other. That's right. So what I need to do is I need to find angle 8. Set it equal to angle 11. Now, is angle 8 16.1? No. What was 16.1? It's just x. So how do I find angle 8? 4x plus 10, right? Somebody do that for me. What's 4 times 16.1? Calculator? Quick, quick, quick. Who's got a calculator? Come on, somebody move. Okay, we put 16.1 in there. What'd you say it was? 64.4? Yeah, I should have been able to do that in my head. All right. Because I know 16 times 4 is 64. Okay, so would that be plus 10? That's easy. So what's that? 74.4. What did I just find right there? What's 74.4? Is that what y is equal to? That's angle 8. Okay, so that's, we'll put that right there. So angle 8 is 74.4. Angle 8 is equal to angle 11. All right, well, what's angle 11? It's 3y, isn't it? So I say 3y equals what? 74.4. Divide both sides by 3. Calculator. 74.4 divided by 3.
74 divided by 3.
Good. 24.8.
Smart, man.
I got it on my answer sheet. I didn't do it in my head. I didn't want to wait. All right, so there we go. So there's x and there's y, and that's how you do it. So that was a little bit more complicated than what we did earlier. It was quite a bit more complicated than what we did earlier. Listen. But we're using the same process, okay? Know that alternate interior angles are equal. Know that these two consecutive interior angles are supplementary. You had to know those things in order to solve for x and y, okay? But then you just had to go ahead and do your division, and you're good to go. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, let's look at the next set of problems. Completely different than what we were just doing, all right? So let's look at it. Number 5, it says determine the slope of the line that contains these given points. Well, let's do this first before I actually do the problem. Let's write down the little formula for slope. So slope is equal to, do you remember how to find the slope? It's a fraction.
Y sub 2 minus y sub 1.
Okay. We say it like this, though. It's the same exact thing. We just say y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. It just depends on how the teacher teaches it. That's how our teacher taught it. So when you say sub, it's subscript. So it's just like that. Now the reason I just say 1 minus 2, because when I was a kid and I remember this stuff, I always wondered, why do they go y2 minus y1? Why don't they just say y1 minus y2? And I remember thinking that. And so now I'm a teacher. Now I can teach it how I want to teach it, right? So I'm just going to say it's the first y. It's the first y minus the second y. So let's take a look at those 2 points. It was negative 511 was 1 point, and the other one was 5.7. All right, and we want to find the slope between these 2 points. So basically, what does y1 minus y2 mean? It just means take the y's and subtract them, right? It's 11. Yeah. See, there's 2 up and down lines there? Okay. So 11 minus 7 over negative 5 minus 5. Everybody with me? This is what? 4 over, no, it's negative 10. Negative 10, watch. You got to know this. Now look, this is not Algebra 1. I'm not going to sit here and teach you basic rules for Algebra 1. If you don't know it, you should know it. But if you don't, use calculator, for goodness sakes. Get it right. Watch. I always say this. I say add the opposite. Mrs. Swam used to say add a line, change a sign. Okay? That's fine too, if you remember that. Right? So you take a minus and you turn it into a plus. Negative 5 plus negative 5. You add, you keep the sign. So that's negative 10. Everybody got that? Reduce it. Always reduce it. What's that? How about 2? How about 2 over 5? Negative out in front, right? Now look, the negative was on the bottom. Does it matter where the negative is? Could be on the top, could be in the middle, could be on the bottom. I'm just going to kind of put it in the middle out front like that. There you go. That's how to find the slope. Pretty simple. Let's do 6 a little bit quicker, okay? Here's your points. 3, negative 2. Make sure I'm looking at the right points here. Yep, 3, negative 2, and 12, negative 2. So look what happens here. I'm just going to do the math in my head. It's negative 2 minus 2. I'm sorry. It's negative 2 minus negative 2. What's minus a negative? Positive. What's negative 2 plus 2? It's 0. Okay? Over what? 3 minus 12. 3 minus 12 is negative 9. What's 0 over anything? Put it in a calculator. It's 0. Right. So the slope is 0. What kind of line would a 0 slope be? Horizontal. Remember you go skiing? If you go skiing and you're on a slope that's horizontal, that means you're going to go 0 miles per hour, right? If you go on a vertical slope, that's not even a slope. Can you go to a ski resort and you see a slope that's completely vertical? No, it's not a slope. Which brings us to number 7. Right, they tell you, don't go that way. That's not a slope, okay? Because you'll go off the edge of the mountain and you'll die, okay? So look at number 7 real quick. Then I'll answer a question. Look at 7. Let's subtract the y's. So 6 minus negative 4. Minus a negative is plus. 6 plus 4 is 10. Let's do the x. It's 8 minus 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. This is different than this. Put it in the calculator. Who's my calculator people? Put 10 divided by 0. It's undefined. Or you could say no slope. That's perfectly fine. Right. Your calculator will say error, which we say it's no slope. It does not exist. Again, you go to the ski resort, you will not see a slope. It doesn't matter how many black diamonds you give it. Okay, black diamonds, if you're not familiar with skiing, means it's really, really difficult hill. Okay, you can't have enough black diamonds to have a slope that is vertical. All right, it's no slope, or you could say it's undefined. All right, everybody with me? All right, let's move on. Okay, here's number 8. It says determine whether line BT and MV are either parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So I want to find line BT and I want to find line MV. Everybody see that? And I want to see if they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither one of them. So what am I going to have to find on these lines in order to determine if it's, I want to find the slope. That's right. So let's take line BT. All right? And let's find the slope of line BT. So it's exactly what we just finished doing, right? We're just doing it a couple times for this particular problem. So let's find it. Subtract the y's from each other. Negative 4 minus 12. Subtract the x's from each other. 1 minus 5. Negative 4 minus 12 is negative 16. 1 minus 4 is negative 4. What's negative over negative? So what's the slope of line BT? Positive 4. Okay, so that's the slope of line BT. Now what I want to do is find what? Find the slope of MV. So let's take line MV and let's find the slope of line MV. Do the same kind of deal. Right, 3 minus 2, and then negative 8 what? Minus negative 4, which is the same as plus 4. Everybody see that? So negative 3 minus, 3 minus 2 is 1, and negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4. So the slope of this line is negative 1/4. Now look at the 2. I got to decide, is it parallel, is it perpendicular, or is it neither? How do I know? If it was parallel, what would be true about the slopes if it was parallel? They would be the same. Are these two numbers the same? No. If it's perpendicular, they would be what? What's the phrase I always use? Not just the reciprocal, the negative reciprocal, okay? So look, this is positive, this is negative. This is 4, this is 1/4. What are they? They're negative reciprocals. So what kind, these two lines right here, what are they to each other?
Oh wait, they are. Because when you.
They're perpendicular. Right.
Yeah, but I was just processing it, Kenny.
All right, so they're negative reciprocals of each other, which means they're what? They're perpendicular. Okay? What if? Now this problem isn't like this, but what if the slope of this line was negative 4? Hey, let's pay attention up here. What if the slope of this line was negative 4? I know it's not, but what if it was?
Then it wouldn't be.
Would they be parallel to each other then?
No.
No, because that's negative 4, that's negative 1/4. Then there'd be neither. That's right. Okay? What if, just for fun, what if that was, the slope of this line was negative 4 and this was negative 4?
Yes.
They would be what? They would be parallel to each other. Okay? All right. All right, here we go. Let's take a look. Number 9 is kind of like number 8. All right, you can look at it yourself. It's parallel. So what would be true about the two slopes on number 9? They would be equal to each other. You can do the work yourself. That's just kind of redundant. Let's look at number 10 though. This is the only problem out of all these problems right here that says this particular form, point slope form. All the other ones say what form? Slope intercept form. Okay, do you remember what point slope form is? Y minus y1 m times x minus x1. Wow, that was beautiful. Okay, here we go. So the x1, y1, listen now. The x1, y1 represents a point. The m represents the slope. Okay, so on number 10, look what they give you. They give you a slope. All right, I should put m equals. Okay, they give you a slope and they give you a point, which is 7, negative 3. All you have to do, watch how easy this is. A lot of people got this wrong on the test when they took it. It's so easy. There's really no math involved in this at all. It's just a matter of putting the number where it's supposed to go. So it says y minus y1. The y1 is where a number is going to go. The x1 is where a number is going to go, and the m is where a number is going to go. The x and the y just stay x and y. So it's going to be y minus what? Y. Negative 3. Y minus negative 3. What's y minus a negative? Positive. That's like the third time we've talked about that today. So minus a negative is positive. Equals the slope, which is negative 3 over 2 times x, what? Minus 7. What else do you have to do? Nothing. Circle it. That's your answer. That's all there is to it. So point slope form on this with this given information. With this given information, that was a really easy problem. Okay, there was no math involved. That's all we had to do with that. Okay, number 11, we're going to go to slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is probably one of the most popular forms of a straight line. Okay, and right, you know that one. It's y equals mx plus b. You learned it in Algebra 1. You learned it in geometry, right? And you'll do a whole bunch more in Algebra 2 with this, too. Okay? Everybody here? Look at number 11. It says write the equation in slope-intercept form, which it should look like this, okay, of a line having a slope of 3. So watch what I do. I write down m equals 3 and contains points, what's that, negative 5, negative 6? Yep. Negative 5, negative 6. Now watch what we're going to do on this. Look what I know. I actually know 3 things. I know negative 5, I know negative 6, and I know the slope is 3. I got 4 things here. So where, you know where the slope goes, that's easy, right? Goes right there. What about the x and the y? What goes in for x?
-5.
-5. What goes in for y? -6. So what's the one thing I don't know?
B.
The b. That's what I'm going to solve for. Okay, so let's plug the stuff in and solve for b. All right. So what's the y? -6 equals m, which is 3, times x, which is -5, and then the b is plus b. All right. Don't crinkle paper up. Look, this is -6 equals -15 plus b. Add a 15 to both sides, and what's b? It's +9. Okay? Is that my answer, +9? No, I want to write it, I want to make it look like this, okay? So y equals, what's my m? 3, then x, and what's my b? +9, and then there it is. That's all there is to it. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Plug and chug, right? Solve for b, and then put it all nice and pretty right at the end. Let's skip to number 13, because number 12 is really close to what number 11 was. The only thing on number 12 that's different is they don't give you the slope, okay, on number 12. They do give you 2 points, though. So what can you find if they give you 2 points?
Y.
You can find the slope, right, okay. I was trying to lead you into it. I said they didn't give you the slope on this one, so you take the 2 points and you actually find the slope, okay? And then the rest is just the same. So you should be able to do number 12. Let's do number 13, since we're running a little short on time. They tell you the x-intercept is, actually, let's write the word intercept. The x-intercept is -6, and then the y-intercept is 2. Now, how does that help you find anything? Well, let's just do a quick little sketch so we understand what it means to be the y-intercept and the x-intercept. The x-intercept is -6. So you come over here on the x-axis to -6. What would that actual point be if I went -6? It would be -60, wouldn't it? The y-intercept is 2. So if I go on the y-axis to 2, it would be about right here. What would that actual point be? It would be 0, not negative, +2. It would be 0, 2. You follow me? So look what I have. I want to find the equation of a line that goes through, oops, missed it. You get the idea. Little squiggly. But I want to find the equation of the line that goes through those 2 points right there. All right, so look what I got. I got 2 points. I got -6, 0, and I have 0, 2. Can you find, you don't need a chart or anything. Watch. All you need to do is know, just like number 12. This is just like number 12, okay, at this point. All I got to do is find the slope. I already know the y-intercept. What's the y-intercept? They told me the y-intercept. What is it?
2.
It's 2, right. So b is equal to 2. All I got to do is find the slope. So let's do the slope. It's pretty easy. 0 minus 2, and then -6 minus 0. So it's -2 over -6, which is +1/3. That's my slope. Put it all together to put it into the slope-intercept form. So it's y equals, yep, 1/3 x plus 2. Does that make sense?
How would you find 12?
I already said it. You just find the slope. There's 2 points. You find the slope, right? You know the slope, and then you take either one of these points, you put it in for x and y, solve for b, and then put it all together, right? You with me? Let's do 14, and that'll probably take us to the end. Let's take a look at 14. It says, write the equation in the slope-intercept form of a line that passes through the point 8, -1, and is perpendicular to a line. Now, this is a little different. They don't just give you a slope and a point. They give you an actual line. Oops, 17, not 7. Sorry, let's try that again. 17. Now, what do we know? We've already talked about this once today. Is everybody paying attention? Come on, you guys your mind's wandering, I can tell. Let's focus. Let's bring it back. All right, this is the last thing we're going to do today. If it's perpendicular, what's true about the slopes of 2 lines that are perpendicular? They're not equal to each other. They're negative reciprocals, right? Cartwheels, remember? Okay. So they're negative reciprocals. So look, if I know the slope of this line is 2, what's the slope of the line that I want that's perpendicular to this line? It's -1/2. Okay, it's negative, which means you take the opposite sign and you flip it. Okay, you flip the number, which is -1/2. Now, look what I have. I've got a point. I've got a slope. This is like the 3rd time now that we've done this today. Okay, you can find the equation of a line if you know that stuff. So let's put it in. It's y equals mx plus b. So what do we put in for y? Here's the point.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the slope. What's the y? It's negative 1. Equals, what's the slope? Negative 1/2 times x, which is 8. This is x. This is x. This is y. Okay, so it's 8. I'm going to put it over 1 plus what? B. All right. So look, negative 1 equals. Look at this. Negative. Okay. So 2 goes into 8 4 times, right? Negative what? 4 plus b. Add a 4 to both sides. Add a 4. So what's b? b is equal to 3. Negative 1. Negative 1 plus. It's not 1 plus 4. It's negative 1 plus 4. Now I've got to put it all together. So y equals, what's my slope? Negative 1/2 x plus 3. And there it is. That's all there is to it. Okay? Now listen to me. Listen. Don't talk. I'm going to go through the rest of these problems that we didn't cover. Okay? I'm going to put it on YouTube. So look for it. It'll be the very last videos. Okay? Scroll down to the bottom. Remember yesterday I said it says load more, right? If you scroll down, it doesn't look like you're to the end. You hit load more and it goes to the bottom. All right? Go to the very bottom. It's the last couple ones, and I tell you which chapter it is and all that kind of stuff, okay? So go through it. You don't have to sit and watch every video the whole entire time. Just skip through the ones. If you see some problems on your test that you got wrong and you don't know how to do them, or maybe you got them right, but it's been so long you forgot how to do them, okay? Scroll through them, stop, hit that problem, and then watch me solve that problem for you, okay? So all your tests in the next couple days will be on YouTube, so you can go through and you can review them on your own. Okay?